We just got off an Oceania cruise, and the experience really surprised us. In fact, it was a Panama Canal transit, which we'll be talking about a bit more.
I would say by surprising, we mean pleasantly surprised.
All right, so before we jump into all the details of this pretty amazing cruise, we want to give you a little bit of information on who Oceania Cruises is, what does it cost, what to expect when you cruise on Oceania, because it is owned by Norwegian Cruise Line and it's the premium cruise line brand, and why you may want to consider potentially booking an Oceania cruise. So, one of the biggest differences, they really focus on the cuisine, the high level of service, and enrichment. Now, they do have a thing that says best cuisine at sea, so we definitely put that to the test. This was our second Oceania cruise. This one probably came close to matching that best cuisine at sea.
Oceania has lots of great itineraries and they pretty much cover the world. You get unique experiences. They're all about cultural immersion and tailoring your journey.
We just did a video on unusual port destinations. It's in our channel. You might want to check it out if you really want something off the beaten track when it comes to cruising. And Oceania, I believe, was the top one with the most off the beaten track destinations. So that gives you an idea that you won't just be going to the usual places that everybody else goes. You can, of course, but are throughout the Mediterranean, the South Pacific, Alaska, and a lot of places that typically a lot of cruise lines do not go to.
Yeah.
What we were on their newest ship, the Vista. We'll be talking about some of the differences between that ship and what we experienced on a prior generation of Oceania ships.
Oceania's smallest ships are in the Regatta class, and there's four of them: the Insignia, Nautica, Regatta, and Serena. They have no more than 700 guests and can arguably get into smaller ports than some of the bigger ships.
If you book Oceania on this class of ships, it will be a different experience than the other two classes of ships. The next step up is the Marina and Riviera. These ships carry 1,250 guests, give or take. And we've sailed on the Riviera. They've done a number of updates to the Marina to make some of the onboard amenities match what we experienced on the Vista, which we'll share with you in a moment. There was only two ships in this class, the Marina, the Riviera. They're very nice ships. They still lend themselves more towards a bit more traditional in the design and aesthetic, not nearly as modern as what we experienced on the Vista. And then the future of Oceania is we were on the Vista, which is right now their newest ship, but they're about to launch the Allura, which is the second ship in the Vista class. For those considering Oceania and you don't need some of the more exotic destinations, probably would initially steer you towards their newest ships. All right, so let's talk about the Vista cruise that we just took. In fact, we did a video recently. Go ahead and check our channel. We'll put a link down below for that as well. Where I do want to stress with Vista, it's not big ship cruising. So if you're somebody that doesn't want to have 3,000 to 7,000 people on your ship, this might be a really great cruise line to consider because this is a big ship for Oceania and it was about 1,200 guests at full capacity, 67,000 tons. With Royal Caribbean ships, they can be four times that size practically, but it'll still feel like a very open, large, luxurious ship. There's a lot of different restaurants, amenities that we'll talk about in a moment. So by no means does it feel like a small ship. You got plenty of room due to this kind of perfect size with this number of passengers. By the way, if you're interested in booking on Oceania or any cruise line, we can now help you with this personally. We have a line with one of the largest cruise travel agencies in the world. In fact, they did over $1 billion in bookings last year. So that means we can bring to you some really amazing deals and specials. If you want us to help you, we'd be more than happy to. Just go to the link on the screen and let us know what you're looking for. All right, first impressions. What did you think?
A few years ago, we did the Oceania Riviera out of Trieste down to Greece. A beautiful itinerary, and the ship was nice, but we felt at the time that it was a little dated.
It's very classic, traditional, a little bit more old
Yeah.
school. And again, that's just our personal opinion. Some of you listening may have been on the Riviera and you thought it was beautiful. Everybody's got different design tastes.
We thought we'd try Oceania again, and we went with the Vista, the brand new ship. We were cautiously optimistic, but personally, it blew me away. It
Yeah.
was a stunning, sparkling ship, so new. I loved the design, the neutral colors, and the very cool aesthetic.
And we'll
So,
share some pictures
yeah.
here in a moment. In fact, it reminded me a lot of Celebrity, their newer designs. So if you've been on the Edge class, it's got a bit more of that vibe. The food, I got to be honest, it blew me away. It was probably, we've done 50 plus cruises. For me, it's hard for me to always say, was it the number one? But it had to be top three to top five. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree with that. After Riviera, we thought the best food at sea, but
It was good, but it didn't blow us away. But this kind of blew me away. Almost every meal, I was like, wow, this is really good.
it did. That first dinner, we've had this happen on other ships as well. That very first night, everybody goes at the same time, and it's all kind of disjointed. People, I guess, a lot of the crews are working together for the first time. In some cases, that was really the only problem we had with any.
The breakfast buffet, every cruise line has it. This is one of the better ones. I'm going to say you pay more for this. That's why when we were on Riviera, if it would have been a modest price or inexpensive, I would have said it was pretty incredible, but we paid
Mhm.
quite a bit for it. But you know how it is. What you pay changes your expectations.
It
Like
does.
if I get an incredible deal on a cruise and it's $100 per night, I'm not going to have gourmet standards. When you're paying hundreds of dollars per night, you have higher standards. You basically for lunch have the grill, which is going to be like fish sandwiches, burgers, wraps, all made to order. Then you have a really nice extensive buffet that the menu changes every day for lunch. You could also go to Aquamar, which was really our favorite stop for lunch in particular, but also breakfast.
One
This is Aquamar, beautifully designed. So this is available for breakfast and lunch. It is healthier, but don't worry, there's a burger on the menu and there's french fries and things like that. If you're not into just pure healthy, you'll still really enjoy it. But if you do want to eat a little lighter and healthier, it's to sit down. It's not a buffet. It's no charge. There's no additional charge for it. By the way, that's a nice advantage of Oceania. You do not
Mhm.
pay extra for any of the specialty restaurants. They are included. So yes, the cruise costs more, but it is one of those things that's included. So Aquamar, super choice for breakfast and lunch. You'll love it. We went multiple different times,
Mhm.
tried a lot of things there. The dining room we went to, very good. We skipped a couple of the meals there because either we had specialty bookings or once or twice we didn't love the menu. So we went to a pretty amazing spread up in the buffet for dinner, including fresh sushi and seafood every night, fresh grill options every night. So you have a lot of options.
And there's a lot of plant-based options, which
True.
throughout the ship, which I thought was a little surprising and pleasantly.
We a lot of times measure sometimes the quality, but how good is their bread and dessert? You'd be surprised how often those are disappointing.
Mm.
And Oceania blew away bread, and actually they did it on dessert too. They have 4 restaurants for specialty dining.
There's Polo Grill, which is your steakhouse. Ember is more casual comfort food. Red Ginger is the Asian fusion restaurant, and I think that was our favorite. And then Toscana is Italian.
I think that was my favorite too. I will tell you that Ember is going away. It hasn't been the most popular concept. Placed on Riviera, Jacques,
Jacques Pepin.
it was his French restaurant.
Mhm.
That is coming back. I think that's because of surveys. People were just like, I could have food like Ember at home. And that's probably fair. They'll let you go once at all 4 restaurants. If you're in a higher end cabin, you can go multiple times. Even if you're like, we were just in a veranda cabin, you just have to do a reservation on board or you can check the night of. And that's what we were able to do. My favorite was Toscana, an amazing lemon shrimp pasta dish that was
Mhm.
pretty incredible.
The tortellini, I like
Yeah.
a lot. And if
Service was so nice too in all the restaurants.
yeah, very much. If you like the classic Jacques Pepin, the
Mhm.
French classics, you can still get them on the menus even if they don't have his restaurant.
It's in the main dining room.
In the
Every
main dining
night they
yeah.
have an appetizer, a main, and a dessert that's catered to him. This was really fun. We did this. We did pay a little extra for this, but we had quite a bit of onboard credit. So if you book through a cruise only agent like us or somebody else, we always give onboard credit, and you can use that to pay for the cooking class. What did you think about the class?
Oh, I thought it was so much fun. It was a beautiful space, and they had everything set up. It was taught by a professional in the kitchen. They had all the ingredients laid out. We did 4 different dishes, and this particular menu was plant-based.
The reason we did this one is because by the time we got around to booking, a lot of them were booked up. Secret hack: people don't show up sometimes. They pay for these, they don't show up. So if you ever are on one of these ships, just show up 5, 10 minutes before. You might still be able to get into the class. But there were open spots, even though this was booked up. As it turned out, it was a pretty darn good meal.
It was sensational. So we started by making a chia seed pudding, which we put in the fridge to chill. Then we made a soka, which is Southern French
Like a big wrap.
bread
Like a, yeah.
with a salad on top. And then we made a pasta and zucchini with a walnut paste. They were all very good. At the end, they paired one with white wine, one with red wine, and we got to consume what we made.
That was super nice. With your meals, I don't know if they call it a classic beverage package, but we had wine and beer with meals. We did pay extra for cocktails, and they had some pretty amazing cocktails. One of the new cocktail bars on Vista, we definitely recommend go to Founders Bar. It's on 5 right by the dining room. They have happy hour, which is really cool in Oceania. Even though you're paying for the cocktails, they're 2 for 1, not the entire menu, but you can go there and several other bars and they will have a select portion of beer, wine, and cocktails on 2 for 1. So we did that several times. We had the Hasta la Vista, which
Mhm.
was a great tequila-based drink. If you're into cocktails, check out Founders. Also, the Vista Lounge up at the top is really beautiful. Place to hang out during the day, but also really nice for cocktails. Martini's Bar is very popular. So if you're into that, there's a lot of great choices, but they definitely elevated the cocktail and drinks game.
They also had some snack accompaniments that we
Yeah.
really appreciated, but they would bring out some cheese and focaccia, some olives. It's nice to have a little extra to nibble on before dinner.
Let's talk internet, which can be very important. We did pay for the upgrade to streaming. The internet speed is going to be the same for most things. So if you're just doing Facebook, Gmail, uploading some things, it's fine. If you want to stream anything like Netflix or YouTube, you do pay a little bit extra. It wasn't that much for the upgrade. I feel like it was under $10 per day per device. They do use Starlink. They do cap the Starlink speed. So don't expect it to be like Starlink typically, but still, it's vastly improved over what we've experienced in years past. Oddly enough, when you pay for the upgrade, they allow you to use a VPN. And we found when we turn a VPN on, the internet performed better, which is usually the exact opposite on many other cruise lines. The other thing is there's no app. We would have preferred to have an app. I don't know why Oceania does not have an app. So you can
Mhm.
have your schedule, your menus, everything's printed. You get a ton of paper every day in your cabin. We did the Panama Canal Transit. We did a whole video on this, and we'll put the link down below. So we won't spend a lot of time in the experience, anything just to cap it.
No, it's just it's like an 8-hour process and fascinating. You see all the ships waiting to go through, and it's fun going through the locks. It's an engineering marvel for sure.
Definitely do it at least one time in your life. And we had some pretty amazing stops along the way too that were new for us. Now, one thing Oceania does great, including on the Riviera, the rooms there were amazing. The bathrooms are incredible. I think that really carried over onto Vista.
Absolutely. I've never seen so much storage space in a bathroom before on a
Yeah.
ship.
And you could see really nice design, very current, very modern. The bedding, everything was really nice. Every night they put chocolate on your pillow, which was nice. We really appreciated that they did that. By the way, in the coffee shop, they have an actual pastry shop that's
Mhm.
cooking
It's a
fresh
bakery.
pastries, bakery all day, which is really cool.
For me, I like, especially when we're working on the ship, I like to drink coffee pretty much all day long. And there's coffee available in the barista
Which is
way on the
in a
top.
glass bubble, so it's
And
very
it's
hot.
like specialty coffees, but sometimes there's a line. It's not like you can just go and see coffee and fill your cup. I like having that availability. And a lot of ships will have the to-go cup so you can take it back down wherever you're working, but they don't have any to-go cups, which is good for sustainability, but bad when you're trying to balance a couple of ceramic cups and go down a few floors. That was frustrating.
We just thought maybe there were some other solutions they could have
Mhm.
had, maybe coffee available in other places
Mhm.
besides just very few places on the ship. Lobster night was really good. We saw lobster multiple times on the ship, by the way, which these days on some cruise ships, they've cut back a lot.
Mhm.
No problem there. We had multiple opportunities and a lot of fresh seafood. And
Mhm.
they did seafood right. In fact, taste in general, right? Just everything seemed to be seasoned great.
Yeah, that's the one thing I noted right away is everything seemed to be seasoned well. I'm an oversalter because salt is the engine of flavor. I didn't really need to salt too much, which was nice.
Yeah, there were even some menu choices. I was like, I'm not that excited about it, but almost without question, it was actually better than I expected. Let's talk about the crew. The crew was exceptional. Probably,
One of the
maybe,
best crews we've ever had, I
yeah,
think.
could be the best, honestly, but let's put it in the top three at this point. We just didn't run into anybody who was grim or sour, which is common on a lot of cruises. Everybody was so friendly, so nice, so helpful. So, who's ever managing this ship, the Oceania Vista, they are doing a brilliant job. And honestly, the crew generally seemed happy. I hope the passengers treated them well. By the way, we have put together a free guide that you can download. It's got hacks and ways to save hundreds, even thousands on your next trip. It's totally free. But you can go to digitalromance.com/free or use the QR code with your phone and you can download that right away. And if you don't mind, give the video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. And please subscribe to our channel. It helps us get the word out and continue to provide this kind of content for all of you. Ensenada, we just walked around. There's not a whole lot to do unless you take excursions. We did a few excursions at some ports. We didn't do one here, but it was nice to get off the ship, walk around a little bit, and just get back on.
So in Cabo, we have been there before and we wanted just a chill day. So we used an amazing service called Resort Pass, where you can access a resort for the day and like beach clubs, spas, all that kind of thing. So we went to the Hilton Los Cabos. We just hung out on the beach.
Like give a little bit of a food budget. And so we just had some margaritas, mescalitas, a little bit of Mexican food, and enjoyed some great views. We did an Uber from the port
Mhm.
to the hotel, 20 minutes. It didn't cost very much. Uber is really easy in Los Cabos. Resort Pass is an app you can download. highly recommend it, especially if you're going anywhere that's sunny and beachy. There's probably a resort in the area that you can buy a day pass. Acapulco was a lot like Ensenada for us. We had never been. We didn't have anything planned, so we just walked around. Probably if we did a bigger excursion, it would have been different, but it was fine to walk around and see it. This one was really nice.
Yes, we really loved Antigua. We came into Puerto Quetzal in Guatemala and took an excursion to Antigua, mostly because you have a friend that lives
Mhm.
there now with her husband and kids. So we wanted to see her. And also because Antigua is the colonial capital of Guatemala. And it's nestled amongst volcanoes and it's super charming.
If you've ever been to San Miguel de Allende in Mexico, really similar, that similar colonial vibe, but really a special place. We would love to go back for sure. You're surrounded by volcanoes, even active, just in
Mhm.
case you worry about that. But really great architecture, as you can see here in Antigua. So then we went off to Costa Rica, which we've been to a few times, but this was our first time, I think, in Punta Arenas. We had a really nice ship excursion. By the way, with Oceania, sometimes in some of their packages or their bonuses, they'll give you short excursion credits. And we had about $1,000 in short excursion credits.
We did a skywalk in the canopy, which was really nice. We got to hear some nice birds, see some beautiful birds. And then we went to a small town, had a little snack. We had a few other stops along the way, so
Yeah.
it was a fun day.
Yeah. So some nice walking, some nice hiking. It was all reasonable, not hard. Anybody could really do it.
Mhm.
But it was nice to be out in nature and exploring. Next up after that was Cartagena. We did something with the ship where they took us into the main area of the town. We did a walking tour. We saw some of the sights. It was fast and furious, but it was included. So we really enjoyed it. And it was really cool, historic town.
Also a colonial town as well. The last stop was in Georgetown, the Cayman Islands. We did a snorkeling excursion out to Stingray City. We got to interact with stingrays and then do a little bit of snorkeling after.
It was not peak season at the time, so the town itself, Georgetown, was really quiet. A lot of things
Yeah.
were closed, so we didn't spend a lot of time in the downtown area, but that was fine. It's a beautiful island, 7 Mile Beach. One thing that surprised us was the entertainment. We usually have an expectation on ships like Viking, Oceania, Azamara, that it'll be fine. The performers will be fine.
Mhm.
They're not going to be like royal or celebrity or princess or anything like that do big spectacles. But actually, the technology that they used in the staging was pretty amazing.
It
The
was, yeah.
screens, and then the level and the quality of the performers, way better than we've experienced on any other ship of this size. And that includes Azamara, Viking,
Mm.
and even Oceania before. So phenomenal job, some really good shows. Really enjoyed it.
The scorecard,
Let's do this scorecard. So overall on the ship out of 5 stars,
5 stars.
5 stars.
Absolutely. Bravo.
Crew,
5 stars.
6 stars.
Hmm.
Crew is amazing. Value, we'll talk about what we paid in a moment. For what we got, it's good value. I would just say when you're booking Oceania, look for some of the deals if you can, where they're throwing in some extras, where somebody else can give you some onboard credit. That would make the value a little bit better. It's not going to be inexpensive, but I think you do get what you pay for. The cabin overall, I give it a 4 stars out of 5.
I would give it 5.
There you go. Go 4.5 then. Internet, as I think about it, I think it really deserved a 3 out of
Yeah.
5, not a 2. I just was thinking that we had a couple days where we had a few issues. And once we figured out the VPN secret, it probably was a 3 or a 4 star. So let's bump that up one from the screen. Food, I did 4 star. Could have been 5 stars. Just hard to give anything 5 stars in food, but 4 to 5 stars,
Mhm.
4.5.
5. Yeah, 4.5 solid.
Excursions were actually really pretty good.
Mm.
We don't love cruise ship excursions usually, but because we had so many included with our credits, I thought overall they were pretty
Yeah,
decent.
and
So-
universally, the guides were great. That's not always the case.
all right. So the important thing is what it cost.
Mm.
We like to talk in nightly rates here on the channel. We have a lot of videos. We'll put a couple links down below where we find you great deals. It's not hard sometimes in cruising to find deals that are $200 per night or less for 2 people. But this is quite a bit more, but it's not the $1,000 or more like some of the real luxury ships. We paid for 2 of us, all inclusive. Hardly anything was not included. This includes tips, was $743 a night. For us, this gave us a lot. All the included amenities, the beverage package, the basic Wi-Fi. We got the $1,000 shore excursion credits. And when we walked off the ship, our invoice on the last day was like $200-300. We also got an onboard credit. So it really didn't cost us much more than this. Sometimes with cruising, you might book it and it's not that expensive, but by the time you leave, you leave with a $2,000 bill. We didn't have that at all.
Yeah, I loved the Vista, and I would go on it again.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking a little bit. We don't do this level that often, but if we can find a really great deal and also looking at
I
Allura.
was gonna say, I
Yeah.
will do the Allura. I'll go ahead
Yeah.
and book that.
All right. So with that,
We'll see you out there.